things happen. We've gotten here, I've gotten to the backpack drills. But now it's kind of, I'm trying to choke him, and as you guys have probably noticed over the past couple weeks, choking someone from the back is pretty hard because most people don't utterly suck at jiu-jitsu. So like they can defend, they can hand fight, they can do all these things. So our next idea is going to be how do I attack other parts of the body, or mainly his arms. Right? How do I get to good arm bars and the proper transitions to attack? So first thing we're going to do is I always like to still start by trying to choke people. Because naturally that's going to engage his hands. He's not just going to be able to be defensive here, he's going to have to engage. Now, with my top hand, I like to trap the opposite wrist here. And all I'm doing is trying to get it to his chest and get my own wrist here. This does two things. One, gives me control of his arm, but it also gives him kind of a sense of calm to feeling good about he's not going to get choked, right? Like, oh man, he's not trying to choke me now. It's great. And all we're going to do, on the same side as the arm that is over his head, that foot is going to post to the hip. My other foot is going to come across the body like a seatbelt. Alright? As soon as this foot comes across here, all we're going to do, roll our elbow out, swing our leg over. It's going to allow us to do two things. One, sit him down, but also start engaging with the arm. Alright? This way, he knocks him down. Alright, so once we get him here, right, obviously James is going to grab his hands naturally. That's just more of the consensus how to stop gaining armbar here. All we're going to do is start with a couple simple breaks, and then we're going to move on to some more complex ideas. All we're going to do, I'm going to keep this leg heavy on the head. Then I'm going to control his head. My bottom leg that's over the body, I'm going to come heel in to his arm, to the center of his bicep. Foot, I want kind of just right on the outside of his elbow. Then I'm going to kick start my motorcycle. As soon as that happens, attach the arm to your chest, fall back, pinch the knees. I still don't cross my feet. Even what a lot of people like to do is they kick and then cross here. Kick and pinch. As I fall back, finish the armbar just as free. Just how we're getting there is a little different. So if you were James, we're in this position here. I'm starting to choke him. He engages his hands. Trap the wrist, grab my arm. Cut my ankle off to the side, elbow off, leg off, and I use that to sit myself up. Okay. Once we're here, I will attach this elbow to my chest instantly. That way when I kick this off, it's already here. All I have to do is fight him at the wrist. Fall back, pinch the knees, finish the elbow. Questions? So, we're here. We're trying to choke James, all sorts of good stuff, right? His hand traps. Off. My arm comes off. Once you're here, all I'm doing is attached to the chest. I will start fighting at the wrist almost immediately. Once I have this attached, I'm not as worried about elbow control. Getting to the wrist. Okay. Other questions?
You are going from here, those things, and lifting the arm forward. I shorter and like heavy, so big that it's hard to like get that.
So if you're struggling, so just make sure I'm right. We're here, we get to here fine, everything goes right to here. We're here and we kind of run into some struggle here. Bring this wrist up with you. It'll help make your short arm. So I can get, I'm not potentially, long armed by any stretch of the imagination. So if you're running into like, man, this head's right in my fucking way, right? Pick his elbow up. It'll help you clear that head a little bit smoother. Bring the wrist up. Other questions there? not particularly. The only thing I'm going to start doing if I lift that elbow up higher is drag this leg up because it gets it out of my way. So my seat belt, instead of being across his hips, is going to start climbing his chest quicker. The only thing I would do. Other questions? Go around. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'm here, right? Good things are happening. I've started to attack. I get my grips, right? Boom, I get off to the side. Boom, I get here. Boom. All good things have happened here. And we get here, right? Let's say I've been to this class before. He knows I'm going to try to kick this off. He goes, keep his elbow in. It's going to be really hard for me to kick this off. He's going to keep a good grip. I just can't get it broken that way, right? How many of you guys have gotten to an armbar? You've gotten here and have been like, what the hell? Like, it won't work. We've all been stuck with that. If you've ever tried to armbar Austin Tweedy, it doesn't work. Mathematically, I don't know how, but it just doesn't. So it's really hard to get this here. Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. I watched him curl a 200-pound man at a time out of an armbar standing. Dumbest thing I've ever seen. Breaks physics some days. But, so I get here, right? I'm getting it, I can't get it broke. Okay, well, what are our options? One's going to be, we're going to grip and rip here. Now, we're trying to pull this way, which naturally, you can see his grip is strong on this axis. So, we're going to change the axis. All we're going to do, I'm going to drop this elbow, the head side elbow, back to my hip, and I'm going to look away. Now, 2 options once you get the grip break. Option A. Option B. All we're going to do, I'm going to keep the grip on the wrist, bring this break here. I'm here. I can't get it broke. Can't get it broke. Oh no. Come on. Let me break your grip. Come on, please. I promise. It'll be gentle. Slowly, with your frenzy first. I know where his elbow is going to break at. You do not. That is the difference of continuous grappling. So, when we're here, I go this way. All I'm doing is looking to bring his wrist back into my hip. Naturally, that's going to put flexion here. If he needs a little help, great. Most of the time, all you got to do is pull it back this way. If he doesn't tap at that, you just bring it back and finish it. Questions? Preguntas? No questions? Yeah, it's the same grip, guys. Everything stays the same here. This is just, okay, I can't get it broke, right? Sometimes they're going to either have a really good grip, or they do, like, I'm not even going to grip like this, I'm going to whip my hands in. It still works for that. So, elbow to chest, chest and shoulders, look away. How many of you grew up in the early 2000s? We throw our shoulders, lean back. Lean back. Yeah, you know, if you don't get the reference, you weren't born yet. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to look. But, right, I'm going to lean back here. Now, if it's not working and you want to just finish the armbar, great. Rip it back and bring it to your chest. So, you want something cool? I rip it off. All I'm going to do is let go and pull this one. Other questions? Like I said, just a simple grip break, but can change your efficiency on your arm bars. Instead of sitting there fighting grips for 10 minutes. Kick off, it doesn't work, break. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Slowly with your friend. It's my arm bar. All these things, good things are happening in my life, right? Boom, I get here. Boom, boom. Alright, so we're here, right? And James doesn't suck at jiu-jitsu, right? He's defending well. I try to grip and rip. No, it doesn't work. I try it here. It doesn't work. Because what a lot of people get used to is me pulling everything this way. Like trying to rip and do all these different things. One of my more favorite techniques, because it throws everyone off, This is the only one of 2 times you're allowed to cross your feet in an armbar. This grip break, and if you know how to switch sides, which we're going to work next, or probably next week or Thursday. We're here. All we're going to do, I'm going to cross my feet right below his elbow. Then all we're going to do, drag our feet to our chest, here. Now I'm going to dig this hand in for both arms. See how I grip all the way here? Once we get here, I pull this in. Double armbar. Because sometimes in life, you need a new end. This is a great way to get them. Boom, we're here. And I try to break just, strength. Didn't work. Didn't work. Didn't. Here. This hand. Outside hand. Reaches in. Scoops both wrists. As soon as this ends, all we do, fall back this way. One of his arms will start to hurt. Both, generally, at least one. Alright? Biggest thing with this one is, when I pull this in, is sneaking this hand from here to in to the far elbow and pulling this in. It helps. All this one's going to do is try to find the wrists. Here. Now, realize your partner's hands are tied up. They cannot tap. 2 ways to tap when your hands are tied up. Your feet. Tap. Alright? Make sure we're paying attention to our partners when we're doing this because their hands are very tied up and they can't use them. Right? So we're here, everything else stays the same. So, I like to bring this foot up, here, here. Trap the elbows, find the wrists, pull it here, and I'm falling back towards the legs. Here. Questions on this?
They're big enough to sit up.
Great. I don't care. James is a big, strong kid. Go ahead and sit up. Them sitting up doesn't stop your arm. And they don't have a good base, so even if James starts to sit up real heavy here, sit down. So, whenever I trained with Coyle or Gracie, he's up north in Indiana. He's actually from the real Gracie line. I think he's Elio's grandson, great-grandson. He talked about how this leg should weigh 1,000 pounds. His head doesn't get to move unless I say so. So if he sits up, it's because I've relieved pressure off this leg. So when he goes to sit up here, boom. This leg, head. Boom, once we're here, here. Once we get here, then it's just figuring out how bad you want to break both of his arms. So, like I said, the big detail is once you pull his elbow in, the goal here, sneaking the hand that was into the one elbow, into both. Here. Uncross your feet, pinch your knees again. Find his wrist. Here. Over-exaggerating some of those reaches so that they're easier to see. But you get the concept. Questions on this? So, here's why. It's very important. Here's why. If I fall this way, see how he's got a base? That's option 1. And if I fall this way, he can hitchhike her. And I've given him about half the escape. Now, still ways to finish, still options available. Why give him a good base and another escape route? Right? Fall towards the legs. 99% of the time in an armbar, you want to fall towards the legs. That grip and rip is one of the few that you do. And even then, you saw me when I did it. I grip and rip this way, and as soon as I start to go back for the armbar, I came back towards the legs. Always the goal, because that allows you to keep that heavy leg pressure on the head. And if he starts to get squirrely and run away, give me a foot, give me a leg, give me something to hold on to. Make sense? Alright. Duplicate armbar. 1, 2, 3. knowledge is important to have so that you feel it. We're here, boom, I attack. Good things happen, I get here, right? And Mr. Hackett is just a strong SOB, right? I can't do anything about it. I can't get the grip broke, I can't do anything. What do I do? What do you do? Well, sometimes you just bicep slice people because very rarely can you guys do it in your rule sets. As you start moving up in rule sets, this is available sometimes at purple belt. Generally it's brown belt, but the occasional purple belt, expert rules. So all you're going to do, the body side leg is going to cross over his wrist. And my wrist is going to stay right in the middle of his bicep. As this leg comes over, this leg's going to come here. As you're here, your pressure down and pull. Pull the bicep slicer. The reason this is illegal for most of you is the pain you're feeling is me trying to rupture your bicep muscle. You're like, oh man, how often does that happen? More often than you think. Never seen it. How many of you guys have ever watched like you guys are old degenerate. The women who crush the watermelon with their legs. That's what your bicep looks like when it pops. So,
you ever watch a power lifter go curl too much and just
yeah.
That's what happens.
So all you're doing is you're trying to turn your wrist. I like to go thumb down because it drives the blade of my wrist right to your bicep here, and I'm snapping this over the wrist here and here. What this allows you to do is if James goes to sit up, which is pretty common, it actually makes it worse. So all you're trying to do here is squeeze and pull. Now I can see the question in your face.
You're trying with your arm.
Yeah. Basically, all you're doing is applying as much pressure to his wrist to drive his wrist down into your wrist and your wrist into his bicep. Bicep slicer's pain and toughness. That's all it is. Like I can sit here and unless I add a monstrous amount more pressure, his bicep's not going to rupture. But goddamn, it probably hurts to sit here and talk, doesn't it, James? Should I just keep it here?
So you
Try to put your foot behind his belly.
Yeah, you can. It takes a whole lot of force. I've seen it rupture. It's not pretty.
like over a length of
No,
time.
like if I'm here and I just hold like a light pressure, it sucks, but this isn't going to rupture. Now, I slam my heel to the floor here, could. There's nothing to it. I'm not going to do that to James, because unfortunately I do like James those days. But, like I said, something I want you guys to at least see, feel a little bit. One, so that if someone does bicep slice you in a tournament, you don't panic. You do have a second to move. Because that's most of the time what it is it's a panic attack. It's an odd pain in a spot you weren't expecting, and so you get one of those. Questions on this? Like I said, for most of you, until you run into mine and Mahu's level, it's not in your rule sets, but something to be aware of. Especially if you like competing at the expert level.
Get a chance to look this, you see behind there or not that hard. People talk about
Most of the time, no. If they're tougher and shit, yeah. But if they're tougher than that, then I'm probably letting go of the bicep slicer and going somewhere else. Like, here's what I'm going to do with the bicep slicer. 9 times out of 10, if I'm bicep slicing you, I'm going to go here, here. If you're not tapping or doing anything, I'm using that to break the grip. As soon as once I try that slice and it's not working, I'm going to bring it through your grip. I'm going to change the pressure from above your wrist to there, to scrape with it and use that to then go back to my armbar. The goal with this lesson today, guys, is get to the armbar and continue attacking. A lot of times what I've seen us do is we get to the armbar, we try to break the grip a couple times, and then we kind of just flop away from it for whatever reason. It's very infuriating. So being able to break that grip a couple different ways, as well as we're going to work on a couple other transitions out. But being able to put that, chain some ideas together there in that armbar is the goal. So questions on the bicep. 1, 2, 3.